watch Team USA every time they're on or whatever the case may be. But I kind of wanted to go into it. Who are some guys that you think are going to take the biggest like post Team USA leaps? And by that I mean,
got it.
Yeah. Who's that? Who you got?
I'm still standing by it because I meant to tell you all this the other day, but Anthony Edwards. I was watching the scrimmages they had. I was watching the games. This dude's gonna be dangerous because I've seen steady improvement every single year, and before we know it, he's gonna be averaging an efficient 30 points per game. It might be next. It might be next season. I'll be honest with you. Because he went from his rookie year to 20 points, and I think his second year 22. Then he went from last year to 25 points. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
So Anthony Edwards, he gonna take a leap.
He give me Tracy McGrady vibes. I'm not gonna lie, mixed with like D Wade. I don't know why. It's like a mixture.
He's got that to his game. I think sometimes being on this, if you're the best player on this, like Anthony Edwards, like leadership. Not saying he was never. When you're a great player, right? Some guys have the potential to be number one players on their team, but they don't have the leadership to match up with it. I get that from Karl-Anthony Towns. He has the talent to where he should be the number one player on his team, but he won't. Right, but
I don't even know. This is the thing. You said talent. Does he really have the talent?
Well, okay,
he has the talent. He has the talent. It's just
okay.
He's just an example. I was saying like there could be guys who have the talent number one players, but they won't get there because they don't have that leadership gene. Anthony Edwards is developing that, and we've seen that since his rookie year. Remember, he came in and everybody was, does he care about basketball and all? Remember all that shit when he first came in the league, and we're seeing him year in and year out continuing to grow as a leader and grow as that guy from Minnesota. This Team USA experience, even if they lose and they don't end up taking the gold or whatever the case may be, this experience he's getting, if he emerges as their top dog, as their leader, and again, it's tough to really choose one. If he emerges as that, imagine him taking that into Minnesota next year, right? Like he's. I think
that's already his team.
Exactly.
It is his team. Everybody in Minnesota probably admit that. To be honest with you, because this is what I've observed. What has Cat been in the league for 7-8 years? Probably 2015 or something like that. 7-8 years, 7-8 seasons. Anthony Edwards is in his third season. I kind of feel comfortable saying I can see Anthony Edwards clearly being better than him next season. Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
you can say it. You can really say it now just because you've seen the steady improvements and you know like the ceiling is going to be the ceiling is what he's going to touch basically.
I think Cat has already hit his ceiling.
Yeah, he did. Sadly, he's become too much of a 3-point shooter. And if he's not hitting threes, he's just out there.
I agree. I think we've seen the best of Cat.
I'm gonna just call it how it is. I think he plays soft. He's too damn big to be playing like that.
Yeah.
Or either he plays soft or he's just not as strong as we thought because he can't move anybody in the post. We already know that. But Anthony Edwards is legit. He definitely has a lot of leadership roles, especially for his age. What is he? I think he's 22. He's our age. He's literally our age.
Yeah.
So he definitely has a lot of leadership skills for a person of his age, and he came into the league with some and while he was improving them from Georgia. But that's why I told you all like a year and a half ago, and I was skeptical to say this. Like I was like, should I really say this? But I was like, I would think about potentially trading Karl-Anthony Towns and just build around. And
I'm surprised they ain't did that already.
Me too. It's that contract they probably can't move off of. But
if he plays well this season, that they can do some midpoint of the season and probably move him away or whatever the case may be. Like it's still a possibility.
If the New York want him, I don't know.
Yeah. Who's another guy on Team USA who I think is going to get a lot from this? Who'd you say? Tyrese. That was big time. There was a debate. I had a poll up that said, was asking who should be their starting point guard between him and Jalen Brunson. His playmaking that first game, bro, was literally off the chain. He's such a high IQ player. He's going to get a lot from this. Again, it's just the exposure and the experience these guys get, moving forward. Tyrese hasn't really been on this stage yet. He hasn't been to the postseason. He just came close last year, but he's going to get a lot out of playing these super meaningful minutes in what's a really competitive international landscape for Team USA right now. And taking this to an Indiana team who I already think was really good this offseason from what they did, picking up Obi Toppin, who I think is going to be a monster in transition for him. Jarris Walker in the draft. Like, that team is really, really good. He's going to get a lot out of this exposure and take it over to this Indiana Pacers squad. Because, as I said, we haven't seen Tyrese Haliburton in too many big games relatively to some of the other, young point guards. Like Jalen Brunson's his comp right now on that team for the starting point guard spot. Jalen Brunson's already had major playoff moments at this point. They're not the same age. Brunson's been in the league, not a lot longer, but a couple years more than Tyrese, but the exact same time. He's going to take a lot of, get a lot of value from, this experience and take it over to Indiana. I'm excited to see what he does. His playmaking is going to be very important for this team. I don't think he's going to start over JB, but he's going to show a lot of big time flashes, even if he's coming off the bench for this team, like we saw him do in game 1. So,
and JB making 60-something million, he better start.
Yeah.
God damn it, he better start.
Yeah. Do y'all think, what about Jaren Jackson? I think he's another. He looked really good in that first game. He's a guy who I think defensively he's amazing. I think I really like to see him round out his offensive game a lot more. I think he's also going to get a lot out of this, this stuff for Team USA. He looked dominant in that first game at points in time, taking advantage of his size. I think he's going to take a lot of this experience and bring it over to this team, to a Grizzlies team that's kind of needed something there from an intangible standpoint. And I think there are a lot of intangibles you can get from playing international ball like this, on this level. I think he can take a lot of that over next season for this Grizzlies team, and that'll be super important. Yeah.
Especially with God's suspender. I think that's gonna be big.
Oh, they play well without him. They'll be all right.
Yeah. All-star again next year for sure. Yeah. Like especially with this experience and with
another deep boy as well.
Yep.
The thing is with Jaren Jackson, he's great on the defensive end. Obviously, he won Defensive Player of the Year. But on offense, sometimes I feel like he plays basketball like he's a guard. I don't know if that makes sense. Like his shot isn't a 6'10" shot. It's a guard. It's a smaller guard shot. Yeah. Like you would expect Trae Young to shoot like that, and he kind of does. But you would expect Trae Young or Steph or Dame, the smaller guards, to shoot like that. Chris Paul, he shoot like it. His game reminds me of a point guard's game for some reason on the offensive end, and it's kind of weird because he's too damn big to be playing like that. But
he can dribble a lot of times too.
Yeah, he can, but he just looks so. It just looks so unorthodox on the offensive end for him sometimes. So I don't know if he can necessarily round it out, but he can probably keep. I don't know, improving on some things, like improve his little jump hook. His jump hook ain't bad. Sometimes it looks nasty.
His little jump
hook. But yeah, I think he might just be the player what he is. I don't know if he can really round out his
what?
Game on offense.
Damn,
I think he's been in the league. This like what was that? His fourth season, third season.
He's not even 23 yet.
That man is 23 years old.
But how long he been in the league? It don't matter if he's 23. So how long he been in the league?
Carl, he's still young.
Because some dudes do one and done. They can still be in the league for 4 years. I don't care how old.
He's still young though. He got.
You all act like I'm saying he trash or something. I'm
just saying 2 years.
2 years.
2021, 22, 22, 23.
So 3.
No, he's in the league since 2019, but I'm looking at the wrong thing on basketball.
I was like, damn, what the? I was like,
that's still 2019. He got hella time.
No, but 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. That's 4. Damn, y'all made me look stupid. He's 4 years. So that's even. I'm just saying he's been in the league long enough, and he probably hasn't improved on a couple of things offensively. But I think he's just the type of offensive player he is. I think his strong suit is literally just defense, not just defense. I don't want to put it like that, but I think his strong suit is always going to be defense.
Oh yeah, but I think he's got potential to be 20 points a game, with the round. Like he can be a 20-point a game guy. He can be a dude who can be a threat offensively while still being a high level defender. He's got better average every single season, pretty much his whole career.
He can average 20 easily, but when you said rounded, I was thinking like I don't see him averaging like 25.
Oh no.
That's what I thought you meant by round outs. That's why I was like, I think his offense got as best as it can get because you got to think about it like this. He's steady seeing improvement from his offensive game, and he's like kind of been playing the same way. He's shooting the same way. He's still a decent stretch type of shooter at that height. So I think he is what he is on the offensive end. He's not bad at all. He's still good, but
I think his best is probably like a 21 points per game or something like that.
Yeah, and if he can match it up with his defense, that's like damn near top 10. Like if he gets 20 plus points a game with the defense he plays, he's a top 10 player, arguably. That's his ceiling. Let's think about that. If he continues to be a dominant defender, because he's a top 5 defensive player right now. If he does that and comes out at about 20 a game, you're a top 10 player. Anytime you're like arguably the best defender in the NBA and plus you're averaging like 20, I'm putting you as a top 10. You're arguably a top 10 player, especially if you do it in the playoffs.
I guess. I guess.
Because name a dude who's been that dominant on, who's that good on both ends that we don't think is a top 10 player. I could be wrong.
But they also this is the thing. They also the players we probably say are arguably top 10, even top 5. They're better on the offensive end, probably. That's the thing.
But like upside though, I think Jaren Jackson still has a ton of offensive upside. He's got.
We'll see because he has gotten better. So I could be wrong about that, but he cool. I ain't never really been too high on Jaren Jackson, to be honest. He cool though. He good.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty valuable from him, you know, from an experience standpoint, especially for a Grizzlies team that's going to need it. It's going to need just like I said, those intangible things. You can pick up a lot from that in this type of experience, in this type of environment, and he'll bring that over to them for sure.
It's a question for both of you all. Do you think for the Grizzlies to go where they want to, which is obviously Western Conference Finals or Finals just in general, he has to be the second best player on the team?
Yeah. I say yes.
Or does Desmond Bane have to be the second best?
Right behind, I think Desmond Bane probably has to be that second. I feel like him and Desmond Bane could kind of be interchangeable, but they got to be. Okay, I'll say it like this: Ja's here, but they got to be like right there.
They got to be interchangeable with 2-3.
Yeah,
sometimes the other player be 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think they do. They both do two different things. Obviously, they're two different positional players, but it'll be between them two. I think impact wise, Jaren Jackson's impact for this team is major. There are things I'd like to see him get better at, but I think they're interchangeable between 2 and 3. Now, the question, I think they need to continue to make roster moves outside of those main 3 guys to just continue to try to spruce this roster up as much as possible. Because I don't think they have, you never know, but I don't think right now they have a championship roster. But with this core, they can definitely win. And again, it could be a coaching thing. Taylor Jenkins is amazing, but this ain't the most disciplined group. And so sometimes you need a guy in there who's like,
I don't know if they ever go get that discipline because them dudes just seem like they just do what they want sometimes.
Yeah. So is
it Carl, you think you can coach them, bro?
Oh no, I do more. I wouldn't even coach them. I cut all of them if they want to. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but like your question is Taylor Jenkins the right guy for that? Like, there's a million different things that can happen with the Grizzlies to continue to round that roster out. But I think the question is, with this core, can they win? Absolutely. I think they definitely that talent. That's essentially pretty much 3 all-stars. But like they can have a year where all 3 of them are all-stars. Desmond Bane has that potential. He's already been pretty much a most improved player. Ja's been an all-star. And Jaren Jackson's already been an all-star. Yeah. That's basically, in my opinion, three all-stars. One of them just didn't make the game. That's how I look at it.
But I don't know. I don't see him winning none. I'm be honest with you. I still don't. Marcus Smart helps a lot. I'm be honest with that. Maybe they can get to the Western Conference Finals, but it's something missing still. I don't know what it is.
It depends on maturity. I think the Marcus Smart thing, I don't think it's crazy to think that they can get there this year.